Cowbird by Jae Ess. Chapter 23. The Palace. A hand in the shadow. It grasps at me as I flee through a maze of corridors, hunting me. Hugh. Where's Hugh? I search frantically to no avail. I am alone in this place. There is no one. Nothing but the all-encompassing presence of evil. The hand in the shadow. Growing closer. It almost has me in its grasp. It's right behind me. I wake with a start in an unfamiliar bed, heart pounding, drenched in a cold sweat. Where am I? I sit up, bewildered, blind without my glasses. Grasping them, I set them on my face and the room springs into focus. White, opulent, frilly, with lace doilies, silver mirrors and floral-patterned wallpaper. Ah yes, now I remember. I'm in the palace in Solaria, the home of the royal family. My family. You're awake! The sudden intrusion of a female voice causes me to jump and squeak slightly in alarm. She jumps and squeaks as well, and we both stare at each other for a moment, similarly startled by the other. Then she breaks the tension by laughing embarrassedly, and I feel my body relaxing. Sorry, I didn't mean to frighten you. My name's Bridget. Mrs. Medbear, that is, the housekeeper, has assigned me to be your maid. Bridget, I repeat, taking her in. She's younger than me, I think, pudgy, and a fellow glasses wearer. She has wide, moss-colored eyes and the reddest hair I've ever seen. It practically glows where it shows just beneath her white cap. She's cute, I decide almost immediately. She's safe. My name's Frances. Oh? She lifts a little hand to her mouth. I thought they said your name was Francesca. I prefer Frances. Oh dear, and they're so similar. I must try not to mix them up. Oh, she exclaims once again, blushing. I'm doing it again. Mrs. Medbear always scolds me for thinking aloud. She says I'm an awful chatterbox and I bother everyone around me, but I don't mean to be. The thoughts just come out. But see, I'm doing it again. Oh dear. It's my turn to laugh. The motion feels a little foreign to me after these last several hectic, stress-filled days, but I don't mind. It feels good. My laughter relaxes her, and she smiles at me brightly. Shall I draw some hot water for a bath, Miss Frances? Is there a shower? There is? That will do. After so many days on the run, the shower feels heavenly, though I am alarmed to see my period has started. In all the excitement, I guess I had forgotten all about it. A little mortified, I leave the shower to hunt around the room for hygiene products, finally finding them, to my immense relief. But really, my luck. This is just what I need on my first day in the palace. Cramps. In a bathrobe with my hair wrapped in a towel, I re-enter the main room to find Bridget has brought in a rack of very stylish-looking dresses. I cringe at the thought of trying them on. I am too big for most off-the-rack garments on the best of days. It's even worse when I'm bloated. But Bridget is undaunted. I estimated your size earlier when you were walking around, and I think these will do nicely. There are a lot of colorful dresses, but in this case, it might be best to go with the black. She hands me a dress in a familiar-looking, even comforting color. Ah, black. Somehow even just holding the dark, expensive-feeling fabric in my arms is making me feel a little more at ease. Any other color at this stage would feel inappropriate, she says, helping me into a corset first, and then the garment. After all, the nation is still in mourning, especially today. Today? It's the late King and Queen's funeral. Didn't they tell you? The news is sobering. No. Father's funeral. In life I knew him only as a distant figurehead, and today they will bury him. How depressing. But Bridget is anything but depressed. In fact, she seems quite cheerful and satisfied with her work as she views the finished ensemble. There. Didn't I tell you I figured your size? You look stunning. Stunning. That's not an adjective I've ever heard used to describe the Cowbird. And indeed, looking in the mirror, I'm sure she's exaggerating terribly. Though it's not all bad, I admit, turning this way and that in the mirror. The fit is nice, though unflattering on my body type, as most modern clothes are. Why, oh why couldn't I have been born in the Victorian era, when women's clothes shaped them like hourglasses and not boxes? Bridget removes my towel and helps me dry my hair. She even manages to curl it with an iron, to my immense surprise, though I doubt the effect will stay. Still, it's nice. Too early for lipstick? Bridget asks no one in particular as she picks up a tube from the vanity. Never. The color is a dark cherry red, and I'm surprised to see how well it suits my skin. It's a bit alarming even, I think, as I view my transformation in the mirror. Under the maid's expert care, I really am starting to look like a lady. Even a somewhat pretty lady. I didn't know that was possible. What would Hugh think, I ask myself as she spritzes Chanel No. 5 on my neck. He'll be so surprised to see me like this. He'll be... Oh my God, Hugh! I stand up suddenly, upsetting the makeup on my vanity and pulling a cry of dismay from Bridget, who rushes to rescue the creams and powders. Francis, what's gotten into you? Hugh! Who? Hugh Bailey, my fiancé. I need to see him. I've been so overwhelmed by everything. How could I forget? Before she can answer, there is a sharp knock at the door. I spin, heart hammering in my chest, half expecting another agent to burst in with a pistol. But the maid shares none of my recent trauma, and so hurries to open the door without a thought. I need to calm down, I tell myself. There are no Kurtzrift agents in the Retonian Palace. A man steps in who introduces himself as the king's chamberlain, a stuffy, pompous-looking fellow. I do not catch his name. Good morning, Princess Francesca. His Majesty requests an audience with you. His Majesty? I blink at him, confused. You mean the king? Yes, ma'am. King Cecil Patel. I look to Bridget flabbergasted, and she stares back at me, equally flabbergasted, perhaps, at my clumsy manners. Really? King? Already? I thought, well, does it really happen as quickly as that? After all, King Leon only just passed away. Succession is immediate, ma'am, the Chamberlain interrupts with a tone of weary patience. The throne must not be vacant even for a single hour, so on the untimely death of his brother, the good King Leon, His Highness immediately assumes his title. It was formally recognized the following day in St. Joseph's Cathedral. Of course, the coronation ceremony will take place later. Nevertheless, Cecil Patel is indeed the reigning monarch of Retonia. So quickly, I say, head spinning a little. At any rate, ma'am, His Highness requests an audience with you in the Blue Room at 9 o'clock. Miss Bridget will show you the way. Excuse me. Gracious! Bridget snaps me out of my stupor with her exclamation. A visit from the Chamberlain himself, and with a summons from the King for 9 o'clock. Gracious! She exclaims again, this time with enough force to cause me to jump. That's in 12 minutes. It'll take you 5 just to walk to the Blue Room, and it's bad manners to arrive on time. Always come at least 5 minutes early and wait to be seen. That's the etiquette around here. Quickly now, your palace slippers. Oh, these are too small. Oh, gracious. Oh, heaven's sake. I'm nervous, and I'm hungry. Mostly hungry. When was the last time I ate anything? I feel like I might faint from hunger. Couldn't the king have waited for me to have breakfast first? I could almost cry as I'm hurried down the hall to our meeting place. As we near the big door, however, my hunger abates, and the nerves return. Who would have ever thought it? Someone like me, the Cowbird, meeting with the king of Ritonia. In vain I strive to remember all the etiquette lessons I absorbed in finishing school, but it's as though they've all been wrung out of me, and left me to fend for myself. Bridget leaves me alone on a fancy chair outside the room. I sit tensely, waiting to be called, my mind a whirling blank. 1,000 thoughts, and not one of them tangible, except Hugh. Yes, Hugh. I need to see him. I need to know he's all right. Nothing else matters to me. Palaces, successions, none of it. Only give me Hugh, and let me leave this strange place. The door opens then with a click, and I straighten automatically. A woman steps through it, slender, beautiful, with pinned black hair and intelligent brown eyes. She stops when she sees me, and studies me intently for a long moment. She is familiar, I think, as I stare back at her. A celebrity? No, the old king's niece, Princess Lillian Patel. Nobility from birth, she grew up in the public eye, fawned over, adored, a certified trendsetter. If she starts wearing a new designer item, that same designer's warehouse will be cleared out in the next week by shoppers eager to replicate her look. But she is cold, I think, as I watch her now for the first time in person, from just a few feet away. Aloof, even mechanical. Her face that smiles so naturally for cameras is unyielding before me, revealing nothing of her inner thoughts, if indeed she's thinking anything at all. I rise clumsily and curtsy to the princess. She does not acknowledge the gesture. You may go in. Father's expecting you. Thank you, Your Highness, I add, not sure if that's the proper moniker, or what else indeed I ought to say. Evidently it's enough, as Lillian only nods slightly, and leaves, striding down the hall on light but deliberate footsteps. I watch her go in a bit of a daze before coming back to myself and hurrying inside. The Blue Room. It's not as intimidating to me as it would be to some. After all, I grew up as the granddaughter of the wealthy Stanley Porter, surrounded by similar opulence. So to me it all seems very commonplace. Classical decor, rich furnishings in blue velvet, marble busts, porcelain vases and 100-year-old tomes tucked into bookcases, Persian rugs, priceless paintings. I had all of these things in the library at Porter Estate. Indeed, I'd say our library was even nicer. Of course, that could just be a matter of taste. I prefer Jean-Léon Gérôme's paintings to these Bouguereau's, though this Vermeer is very nice. The sound of a man clearing his throat snaps my attention back to the present, and I recall I'm not the only person in this room. Ah, I'd nearly forgotten. I came here to meet my uncle for the first time. I'm here to meet the king.
And suffer her death 10,000 times. Now black is the color of my true love's hair. Her lips are